Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Titan Immortal action. My name is Jay Better. I am joined by Ozzy, and we are covering Akuma Final Boss versus Iceborn Black. This is week 3. Yes, I'm correct. This is our third week. At Titan Immortal is this summer for you guys? It is the summer split, right?
It is the summer. It is the summer indeed. This guy's upside down on the wrong side of the earth. You know, what's new? But
wrong side? I don't know about that. Upside down, yes, but this is the right side.
Wrong side of the earth. Regardless, hello everyone. We're gonna be doing something new coming up in future weeks, including this week. We have some key things we're gonna touch on every week to kind of get you maybe in the know about what's been happening in Titan, and also our thoughts on things. So we're gonna have Shivam pull up the graphic here that I've so expertly crafted. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna look so bad. But regardless, here we are. Here's the graphics as hello. So these are our week 3 keys to success. And Jack, the first thing we're gonna touch on are champs that we want to see picked more often. Rumble, J4, Nautilus, Annie, take it away with Rumble.
Yeah, super strong side top. Bunch of really good matchups and some great team fighting prowess too. A little bit getting picked up here and there, but we'd want to see a little bit more of it alongside the J4 that it also pairs with quite well. J4, one of the premier junglers right now. A lot of aggression through the early game, great team fighting, and the ult works pretty well into a lot of the meta picks as well.
Yeah, so to add on to the J4 thing as well, looking at the last 2 weeks, he's number 2 of all presence of any champion in Titan Immortal so far. Also boasting a 67% win rate. Yes, 6-7. With 6 picks overall. So definitely adds to that. On top of that, we have Nautilus, who's definitely started to be looking to be one of the best engaged supports, especially as an answer into things like Ashe Seraphine because of the pressure you can put into the lane. On top of teams starting to need more proactivity, which we'll talk about later, but for right now, so make sure you're picking up Nautilus. Also has a pretty good win rate himself. Annie, kind of flying under the radar. I feel like Immortal mid laners really don't play this champ at all, but 9 times out of 10, she's a good setup mid laner. She's got a lot of burst damage, surprisingly, a lot of burst damage. Now, are you going to 1v9 the game on Annie in terms of like kill and, you know, finding those like pentakills? Unlikely. But you will 1v9 the game potentially off of a flash tippers. That's what's important.
Yep. Going over some champs to avoid. And this is not necessarily champions that we think are weak in general. They might be, they might not be, but it's just champs that we think you want to avoid for one reason or another.
Yeah, so starting off, we got Lucian, Milio, and these are together. They're not separate here because the reason being, Lucian Milio is currently 1-3 in Immortal overall. I also find that when you're picking Lucian Milio, it's usually as an Ashe Seraphine answer, but you aren't able to get a big enough lead, so you kind of just get taken over by the utility of the bot lane of Ashe Seraphine later into the mid game. But you know what's funny? Today, the only team that has won with Lucian Milio is Iceborn Black. So
interesting.
So we do have that. Now we have Sion. Sion, you're probably thinking like, man, this champ is so strong right now, but he has not netted a single win in Immortal, by the way. Literally 0 wins. He's been played 5 times and not 1 win. Of course, when you have things like, Vayne, that's really popular in the top lane right now. All the on-head 80 carries as well, being kind of coming back thanks to Shiv, applying the on-hit effects, has made his life a little bit difficult. Yeah, definitely.
The center one is a bit of an interesting one. I'm a fan of it. I've been playing it in ranked, and Ozzy's been watching me and getting mad about it. Yep. But I'm a fan of this champion. I think it's good. The problem is that it's getting some nerfs next patch. This is not a champion, and one of the reasons why Ozzy is not happy to watch me play the center is because it is very different to a lot of the other 80 carries that you play, and you do have to put time into it, like any other pick, but it will most likely, as the notes are out, is it next week or 2 weeks? It's probably next week because MSI is soon. It's the MSI patch coming out next 26.13. Senna will be seeing some pretty big changes. The Q cooldown no longer refunds on hit. The soul changes. So yeah, you can still pick Senna, but if you're thinking about putting a ton of time into it, don't necessarily need to. But our last point overall gameplay is proactivity in drafts. Ozzy, walk me through this point.
Yeah, so even last split, right, a lot of teams were kind of struggling to kind of connect wins when they were with comps that just kind of lacked any kind of clear engage or a way to play the game. And we also saw last week, right, where not having proactivity in the draft made the game incredibly difficult to the point, it ended up in a loss. Having proactivity, ways to start playing the game, and not being a reactive team. Well, I do think reactive team comps can work, right? That's most notably looking at, counter-engage comps or, anti-dive comps, right? Things like Xayah, etc. can work, right? You're still putting the ball into the opponent's hands to kind of lead you through the game. And you can't really win a lot of games that way, unfortunately, right? It's very rare right now in the state of League of Legends with what's meta to get to where you're able to just play these anti-dive comps 24/7 and be able to win the game. Because if you don't have a way to start fights, if you don't have a way to, get yourself onto an objective, you are just going to lose.
Yeah. Having agency in the draft is, excuse me, something that's pretty important. Not even just as we go higher and higher, but having the ability to make the first move when teams aren't necessarily ready for it can also be quite strong. But we'll have to see what the prios are this week for our two teams. If we have rosters, I'd love to get those up right now again, unless we're getting into draft too soon. But taking a look at these, teams. Fortnite. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. I haven't
straight up so stun-locked by Fortnite.
I was just like, what is okay, anyway. What's our content looking like? What's our predictions looking like for this week, Ozzy?
Alright. Well, Lesser, honestly, I would not be shocked if this goes close. I think Lesser agrees with me as well. So since they are the 2-0 teams, right? This should be a battle for the ages. I'm going to be looking at the jungle matchup for reasons. Steve Jackson, very unique champion pool. Full clear, on the other hand, though, kind of the stock standard. So it's kind of the battle of the meta tester and the meta slave. So we'll see which prevails today in that overall. Of course, we'll be looking at other matchups, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense or it's not that exciting. We'll still be looking at other matchups because we gotta spread the love. But today it's gonna be jungle. Between these two junglers. Steve Jackson, of course, has the Kai'Sa jungle, which he's super known for in Immortal, which he did play last week. Went 12-1. Yeah, went 12-1 on it. Also, Akuma does prio Ambessa, and Akuma kind of leans into a lot of these prio, but also potential flex picks. Ambessa, very flexible, can go jungle, can go mid, can go top. Right, they also ended up picking double 80 carry with the Kai'Sa jungle game. They played Varus 80 carry. Now, is that going to happen this game? Who's to say? Because again, Akuma definitely more on the line of trying some very odd things. Whereas Iceborn, picking, again, stock standard. That's kind of the whole name of the game and the difference between these two teams. But if Steve Jackson can get going, I think it's going to be hard for Iceborn to respond.
Yep. As you can see, we are jumping into draft, and both these teams currently in first. So one of these teams will pull forward more. I assume we have other... Oh, these are the only two 2-0 teams. These are the only two?
Yeah, I think these are the only...
Alright, so this will be first place for a bit. Not that necessarily locks you in, obviously. We are still a while away from that, but does help a lot. Having a look at the band, some Skarner priority, the Seraphine that is still incredibly strong, and the J4. So does this count? I know we were talking about picking the J4
that's fine.
more.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I think priority on the J4. That's nice too.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's incredibly smart. Also, full clear 9 times out of 10 is just going to pick it anyway. So smart choice, especially if you're going to play something as odd as Kai'Sa jungle, which is now available for Steve Jackson. They likely won't first pick it. But if this goes anything like their last draft last week in game number 1, this should be Mbessa.
And the Nort as well. So, good job. Although this was on the avoid list. So -1. No, I'm joking. Senna's a great pick. Obviously, the Nautilus taken away as a pairing. Could be Alistair that gets paired with the Senna. And, looks like it is the Lucian pickup.
Hey.
Could still be Nami, could be Milio, but the Ash Seraphine is banned away. So, I will say, though, in Tier 1, the Senna is or has been an answer into specifically Lucian Milio.
Yeah, also, but again, Iceborn Black, the only team to win with this pairing. Every other Lucian win has been off of the back of a Yuumi somehow, which is insane, by the way. I'd have no clue how that happened. Or a Nautilus. So we'll see if this works out. But again, I agree. I think the Senna answer into it, like, I think it's kind of odd here from Iceborn Black to pick it. But if you're that confident with it, might as well slam it. But Akuma kind of taking away some of the things we saw from Iceborn last week. The Rumble, most notably. And there is a lot of area denial here, paired up with the Anivia, utilizing the wall, and, well, it's going to be full clear on the Zen's out, throwing that in the bag. So Crescent Guard should actually get quite a bit of usage.
Yep. Been missing a Oriana in the picks and bans so far. I think something that Iceborn might go towards, comparing with the Zin's out. As Akuma ban away the Galio. And like you said, Akuma have not only a lot of space control, but they have range as well with the Senna and the Anivia, and the Equalizer also has a pretty good range. On the other side, Iceborn have a great, dragon skirmishing comp. The Milio is also an enchanter with Zinzao, so that helps him out. The Lucian Milio in these early skirmishes is really nice. Nasus Yone bans and a Kassadin ban for Akuma.
Yeah, Kassadin ban coming through. Now, Holy Carrot does play Kassadin, but I don't necessarily think, I was about to say, I don't necessarily think this would have been a Kassadin game anyway. Because do you really want to play Kassadin into Rumble and Anivia? Like, no. Probably not. But they're scared of it for a reason. But it's going to be the Hui here. So, nice little, much needed range here for Iceborn, in my opinion. I think, with the Lucian Milio, even though you have the additional range from the campfire, I think it's just really difficult, but nice last picks here for Akuma. Definitely needed some kind of engage tool. We talked about proactivity. Well, both Vi and Rakan give you that potential. Although Rakan can be hard into Milio sometimes, so opting in for a bit of a difficult matchup here. And of course, will be the Cassante making his face as the typical answer into Rumble usually. So, not shocked to see that at all.
Yeah. Iceborn pick up some much needed range in their comp, like you said, and Akuma pick up some much needed engage from theirs. I have to say, I am a fan of this Akuma draft. I think Vi is good into Lucian Milio. I like it into the Hui. I think they've got great team fighting potential as well. I think they'll have to worry a little bit about the early skirmishing from the bot lane and the jungle. But Cassante should be able to weak side pretty well in mid. Didn't see a ton of Hui, but I do like this pick. Now, I like that you mentioned the Rakan Milio matchup, because that is, like you said, can be pretty tough for the Rakan to play out. But we are getting into game 1 right now of our week 3 series. Akuma Final Boss and Iceborn Black. Doran's Helm. Still Doran's Helm.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten nerfed yet. Might as well keep slamming it. Will be nerfed on that next patch, so that's also another hit to Senna. Just some dancing and emoting going on in mid lane. Is bot lane definitely not as nice to one another. It's actually W start here from Humphreys, which pretty interesting with the Milio, but we'll see if they're able to get some of that lane priority with the double range bot lane against the Rakan. Yes, Rakan has a little bit extra range, but wow, they're still here.
Very confident that Iceborn win this. Yep, that's right. And I feel like even though Iceborn are walking forward and playing this aggressive to fight for wave control, they have wave control, but the health isn't super great for Iceborn right now. They do have Emilio and Pots, obviously, so won't matter a ton once those levels come through. You typically don't see Lucian lanes fully get prio until, you know, level 2, level 3, typically on a bounce, but Iceborn doing a good job of right now, at least getting the starting prio in the bot lane. Junglers opposite clear, so shouldn't be interacting super early as level 2 does tick over for the bot lane of Iceborn.
Yeah, I appreciate this from Steve Jackson, going for the clear up for Rumble, because of course if Rumble gets behind in the Cassante matchup, you might as well kiss your Rumble goodbye. So covering it is a smart choice, even though it's obviously not going to pay off. They don't know that, so smart choice here from Steve Jackson. Maybe even going to be able to net a kill in the future here for the Rumble. Although, nice little wave stoppage here by Upchuck to not allow it to crash. Actually took no damage. You see that? Like, he's actually very healthy for how big that wave was. But I think now it's crash. So
He just tanks that, you know? He's just different.
yeah, it's the mech.
Well, I
It's
mean,
the mech.
yeah, I was going to say the mech's like probably bulletproof, right? Like, you wouldn't be making the mech to fall apart easily. Maybe that's what makes him a bruiser. I mean, and it's this skin specifically. Surely this one's pretty tanky. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you are either a normal Rumble, like, base skin enjoyer, or a Super Galaxy Rumble enjoyer. I'm a Super
Rumble in the
Galaxy Rumble
jungle.
enjoyer. It's just, it's so clean. Can you guys remember, like, when the skin came out? It was like 2014, 2015?
What was I doing in
It
2014?
still looked this good. Still
Starting high
looked this good.
I didn't play League back then. I'm just a fraud.
You're a fraud?
Yeah, I was playing Call of Duty. I was playing,
You're a LARPer.
yeah, LARPer. LARPer. Yeah.
LARPer.
Doesn't sound as good in Australian, that word. LARP?
Yeah, it doesn't.
LARPer. A LARPer. You're a LARPer, mate. Yeah, not as good.
Yeah.
But I will say, other times, we have better words. Like, when you guys say can and can't, I can't tell the difference sometimes, because you say can and can't. And if you say it soft, there's no T. But we say can't and can. Bit of trading up here in the top lane as Upchuck overheats. Flash forward, and that'll be first blood over to Rumble. Bit of a tough start in the lane, but ends up pulling it back. CS advantage and the first blood kill.
I think crucially there, I'm bad you're awful kind of baits himself into staying, worried about getting frozen on, although Upchuck now with no flash. Oh, nice side. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's
I can't believe that was enough time. I mean, I'm Badger Alpha will be able to pick up this full wave, but not giving over a kill to either the Cassante or the Xin. Very well played by Upchuck.
And surely you just flash there Zen, right? You just flash E, guarantee the kill, but
yeah,
opts not to at the next feud.
I've just thought, is Upchuck like the player here, named after the Ben 10 alien?
No, it's what's up, Chuck. Hello. Like, but maybe you're right. You know what? We need some interviews. Yeah, we need some interviews, some player interviews here. Go ask. I mean, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. We bring him in for the interview and don't ask any questions about the game. We just ask him about his name.
About Ben 10. Yeah, we just ask him about Ben 10.
I mean, you and I agree about our favorite Ben 10 alien, and it is Accelerate. Upchuck's cool, but Accelerate is the goat.
Accelerate's the goat. Yeah, it's not even close. Such a good design as well.
Yeah, and the voice is cool as well. I like it. I always think about the episode where he goes forward in time, Ben 10,000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's a good episode.
There's a lot of good Ben 10 episodes, to be fair. Should just be a little trade here into a potential dive. Actually, Steve Jackson with the Hail of Blades buy this go around, and they are going to cancel the dive, at least just for right now. Steve Jackson now wasting time, walks down halfway river, and now turns back around.
Okay.
Let's see.
He's like a Cassante, though. He's a bit low health, and he doesn't have any biscuits. Q3 will be used as Unbad, you're awful, takes a pretty big trade. Nice W buffer. Steve Jackson will take 2 tower shots, but he should live. Bit scary on the dive, but still well played. Dragon, in the meantime, over to Iceborn for the kills lead for Akuma.
Yeah, well played overall by Akuma, although, have to give credit, that was an insane reaction. Nice sidestep there onto fails, and yeah, it's hard enough as Rakan into Milio to get an engage. It's even harder against something like the Lucian. Well, nice root.
Nice root here, and Freak Tor will take good chunk of his health down. Um,
You enjoying the names today, huh?
yeah, sometimes, you know what? At least I appreciate that these names are readable. Sometimes it's like, and I'm bad, you're awful is kind of, eh, it's dancing on that line of, do I just go with I'm bad? Do I say the full thing every time? Also, is this Reze or Reese?
It's from
I'm not sure.
the Chainsaw Man movie, dog.
I haven't seen the movie. I've only seen like
I
a
also
couple
don't
of.
know how it's pronounced, so I just go with
Okay,
Reze. I would imagine
Reze.
if it's like Rize, it would be Rize. So my headcanon is
Reze.
from the very little I know about
Well,
Japanese.
Reze just did miss a cannon, and I know we were plus one soul minus one cannon. Is that I don't know if that's worth this early in the game, and I got to call out the minus ones. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but pretty slow start to this game after the couple of kills in the top lane, the first blood, and then a really nice dive from Steve Jackson and what's up, Chuck? Was one dragon over to Iceborn and the grub spawning in about 15 seconds, but mostly just farming. And see a little bit of a CS lead in mid, bot pretty even, but this Hui is pulling away in terms of gold. Actually, another gank. Makes it a 1-for-1. I'm bad, you're awful with the Q3. Really well played as all the action happening in the top lane so far.
I mean, that was great turnaround. Hopefully we'll be able to get a replay, although it's kind of hard with AML, or sorry, not AML. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm on Tuesday. Titan Immortal.
Oh,
It's a good feel for the move speed there. Almost goes down to the Dawning Shadow. Here comes the replay, as it's going to be really well played. Also in the picture-in-picture, things will happen. Yeah, look at this. Just narrowly at the very end gets the Q3. So trades 1-for-1, gets both ults. That's worth. If you're I'm bad,
yep.
you're awful. And definitely happy with that, especially with how the lane's been going.
Yeah. Which is not super great, not super bad either. You know, Xante doing a pretty good job of keeping the CS high, but obviously dying for first blood, getting dove under your tower doesn't feel good. So winning that 1-for-1 feels pretty nice. Grub's still going to go over to Akuma though, nursing about a 1k lead for Akuma specifically. As full clear up in the top lane. Rumble is overheated. Nice Q3 again. I'm bad, you're awful. Uses the slow, full clear. Do you have enough damage to dive onto tower? Upchuck will flash a little bit awkward into, face plant into the crystalline growth, but does get away.
Nice little flash pool gank there. No overcommittal from Iceborn Black. Now, to talk about two of these organizations, usually both orgs do quite well. They usually, at bare minimum, get to playoffs. So, I won't be shocked if we see both of them at least making it to quarters. Obviously, how things are going right now, they're on the right track. But they definitely do need to avoid any kind of like late season collapses, which does happen occasionally.
Occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally. Doesn't always happen, but it does happen on the rare occasion.
It happens enough, I think. I don't want any more. If occasionally would be too many. Occasional team implodes. I was on a team once when I played in Smite, right? And I don't know if I've told you this story, but we were playing. We had a mid laner. We were having problems with the team. Had a mid laner, and we brought in a new jungler, and he was a complete nutcase. He was a nice guy, but he was completely crazy. So he was like hyping up this mid laner, getting him really comfortable, and then kicked him. Right, and then we got a new mid laner, and then he kicked that one and brought the old mid laner back, and then kicked him again. So he got kicked twice in one season. As Upchuck exchanges ults, health looks a bit rough for Upchuck, but does end up getting the solo kill. Now both junglers around the bot side of the map, as Dragon has been started up by Iceborn. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Steve Jackson's up at the top lane. He was doubled up with the Rumble. I didn't see him. So another free dragon over to Iceborn. Culling comes out. Heal exchange, but doesn't engage, actually. Fails just to cancel the culling. Now with that ult down, Full Clear has the potential to maybe look for a dive. But he's going for it. W down. Crescent Guard is well played. Flash is a bit awkward. Fails, does a lot of damage with the grand entrance. You are losing a lot on your top side, though, when this is happening. Like, it does feel a little bit awkward. You did lose flash as well from your jungler, so pretty net negative play off of the dive.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is Humphreys just doesn't have mana. Like, can't combo, can't follow anything up other than auto attacks. And for a AD carry that's so focused on utilizing the spells and casting his auto attacks after those spells, not having mana definitely bites them a little bit. And first tower goes the way towards Akuma for completely free. They lose nothing on the bot side other than the Drake. And the biggest issue I think we've had with like Lucian Milio is it just doesn't have a way to generate a lead consistently enough. Right, when it was Lucian Nami meta, the Nami burst, right, with the E, wow, I'm trying to say utilizing and usually at the same time. That's just not
You
good,
can make up a new word.
You know,
I think Upchuck doesn't want you to continue with making up words, though, as he just kind of walks into the red buff and dies. That's a shutdown given over to Holy Carrot as well. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Upchuck's looking for. Did place a ward down, so +1 ward, I guess.
Hey, vision score, right? As Steve
big.
Jackson is around bot, but won't net anything, although Fails has a really solid spot here if they can get around, but they do sniff it out. They missing ping the bush, and they are safe, at least for now. Freak Door might not be safe if curious, if too curious, I suppose, is the better word, but yeah, Freak Door.
I want it in the Victor in that voice, but Freak Door. I like it. Every time I see a Rakan hit a bomb plant, by the way, I think of that Rakan bug. You know what I'm talking about? Where he like hits it and he goes up and down?
Yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully that doesn't happen this game, because there's no Chrono Break, there's nothing we can do about it other than complain about it, I suppose.
And that we will.
Riot!
Jackson was down the bot side. Steve Jackson in a brush here as full clear in the bush behind his tower. Just going to take a base. Steve Jackson actually channeling his Q here. Goes for a punch. Lands on the Freak Door. Flash and heals away. But Bios underneath the tower. Maybe this is a little bit too far as the shielding is there for Humphreys. And Steve Jackson's forced to flash away. Now TP in from I'm bad, you're awful will force the dash away. The grand exit, I guess, if you will, as 1v1 now in mid lane. Wall a little bit awkward. Fortnite catching the Maw and the ult. And maybe his death as well. Flash away from the, Severing Bolt. I remember that one. There's a lot of away ability names, but a lot of skirmishing here. Forced out some flashes. Continuing now down in bot, Reze and Fails now. Flash forward actually from Humphreys. The damage has gone into Reze, and even though he's in the E, the ult doesn't go off. Steve Jackson is here, but can't get anything back.
Hey, see what happens when your AD carry has mana? You actually can kill people under tower.
He's got the mana hack.
Yeah, this time, Humphreys has enough mana, gets that kill, and finally a payoff here for Iceborn Black on the bot side of the map. As they will not get that tower, unfortunately. Which I think is kind of negative here for them. Because again, more plates over towards Upchuck, and yeah, big wave. Will be missed. Unfortunately, that being a cannon wave at least does buy some of the wave. At the very least. Never mind. They're going to miss every single CS there. Thanks to the wave coming up. So, yeah, very unfortunate there. So, minus a lot of minions there for the Senna, and potential souls gone. Down the drain.
That'd be the worst part of that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, honestly, early, right? Souls get more value early. Steve Jackson.
He's getting chased out. Knock up is nice from full clip, but the damage from Iceborn is just better. Steve Jackson does find the enhanced bomb plant to disengage cone himself away. Shout out Valdez. But Steve Jackson feels confident to walk back up. There is 4 strong here for Iceborn. We're actually going to see a 5v5 as the dragon spawns here. Vision is decent. Fails with the ult. Oh, bleed! Holy Carrot with a holy fear there. Full clear now in the front line. Upchuck knocked up and taken down nearly as Fortnite forced to go into egg. And I think Iceborn going to make some scrambled eggs out of this chicken because no one from Akuma is able to help.
Yeah, I mean, this just starts off so awkward as well, right? The fear coming in on the fails right as the flash comes through completely sells the play for Akuma. And while Steve Jackson does have seasoned assist, that's a one-person engage, right? Like, you can only go in onto one person, right? And right now, where they're standing, the follow-up is not that great. As we're going to look back here on this replay. Steve Jackson, of course, kind of low here initially. Does have some sustain coming in through center, but look at this. Look at this fear. Insta-fear. Perfect. From Holy Carrot and failed. Gets one charm on full clear who, in the aggressive guard, his team can't walk into him. Only person doing damage would have been Upchuck at that moment, and well, it's just the Anivia caught out as I'm Badger Awful did try to take the egg over the wall to try and look for some more kills. I did see that correctly, but unfortunately not able to do so as the egg just dies simply too fast. And it's great. Soul point even over was Iceborn Black.
Yep. Well played from Iceborn. I mean, we were talking about, or you were talking about proactivity in drafting, and Akuma do have that. You can see that they have the tools to look for the engage, but when Iceborn do such a great job of denying your engage, feels like a rock, paper, scissors kind of deal where Iceborn just want you to walk into them. They don't allow you in fully, and I think that Fails plays it pretty well. He sidesteps the Milio kick and just doesn't flash over the fear while played from Holy Carrot. And then even if he did land it, Frigdo had already casted his ult to immune the charm from Fails' ult as well. So it's becoming harder and harder for Akuma to find these fights. And they do still have the gold lead, but like you said, Soul Point now given over to Iceborn as Akuma in the mid lane, trying to crack open this mid tier 1 tower, and they will do so. But Iceborn have now grouped up, and look at this flank here. Potential from I'm Bad, You're Awful, and said he will just group up with the rest of his team, 5-man strong, in the mid lane to try to trade back this tower with the Herald.
We'll have the Herald coming through onto mid tower. I'm Bad, You're Awful looking on the Empowered Blast Cone.
Nice wall.
Oh, nice wall, yeah. They do mark out the Cassante, so Blast Cone won't be utilized. This is just going to dissolve. Herald doesn't even get the crash, and mid tier 1 will stay standing. Now, the biggest factor, I think, for Akuma is when they don't have like the control over the river in this instance because of Drake Fight, it's really hard for their members to actually get damage down other than Equalizer, right? Like, Anivia has to walk forward to place down the Glacial Storm, right? The Senna has to get inside, you know, auto attack range to do any damage whatsoever, much like any other AD carry. So it's kind of hard to kind of sometimes follow in onto like a Rakan engage or a Vi engage. That's why Steve Jackson didn't send it at all, right? Because it would have gone way too deep. But when they don't have control, it's really hard for their members to walk forward and kind of utilize part of their comp here where they do have such space control with the Anivia in particular that team fights like that are incredibly hard for Akuma Final Boss. Unless Fails finds that miraculous engage, which was denied expertly by Holy Carrot. Fortnite now in some trouble.
Yep, takes quite a lot of damage from Holy Carrot, and I think he might just be dead, unless the peel is great from Akuma, which it is. Both Steve Jackson and Fails come down to the bot lane to bail out their frosted chicken. And around about 70 stacks on center, I believe it was, when we saw last time. It was 65 or so, and I assume it's gone up a little bit, so close to 70. 20 minutes, that's pretty good in a competitive game. So Reze not doing too bad on the soul stacking. Speaking of soul stacking, 1 minute until the Dragon Soul is available for Iceborn. And so far, at least in these fights, it's been close, but Iceborn getting their advantages slowly built up.
Yeah, I think also another factor is trying to take these like mid-game fights against like a Lucian that's spiking right away on 2 items now. When you're playing something like Anivia, something like Senna, it is hard to have the damage output necessary. Usually you're looking towards your Rumble to kind of get you over that hump.
What is
great. But if you can't find a good equalizer, it can be difficult, but Severing Bolt will miss there on a Steve Jackson. They do have control of the river for right now, Jack. 20 seconds to go.
Yep, TP is available for I'm Bad, You're Awful, and there is wards down the bottom side, or also just for the enhanced shield if this Cassante wants to get even more shield, but he's actually losing a lot of health already, forced to use the W. And Emilio is healing, but the poke so far from Akuma is just better. Steve Jax getting chased out of the river as Iceborn try to retake Equalizer. Not the best, but it does use the ult. Now Fails is able to go into the backline by himself. He charms too, but Akuma are taking so much damage from this Hui, and the culling in the backline does more. Now a 4 versus 3 as actually Iceborn overextend with their front line. So Iceborn have less, but the health bars of Akuma are low, and Holy Carrot is dishing out a ton of damage. Upchuck takes another severing blow to the face. Emilio dishing out their heals as well. And with no junglers, this dragon might just be given up instead. Humphreys takes it, or starts taking it, sorry, as Fails goes over the wall and forced to grand exit his way back out. Now this is a big change around. Upchuck TPing back in full health on the Rumble with the shield. Iceborn, surely they can't stay.
Yeah, Holy Carrot. I mean, mana bar is getting lower and lower. Severing Bolt will miss as well. Upchuck.
Yep.
Looking
Nice fear. Freaktor flashes away from the grand entrance as Iceborn are doing a great job of stalling out this dragon as TP comes in from I'm Bad, You're Awful. Not sure if this is too deep. Forced to flash away instantly, but he will still get hit by the root. Humphreys over the wall so low. I'm Bad, You're Awful. Surrounded by 5 members, and he will fall. Iceborn bit off way too much in this fight, but the health bars are still low from Akuma. Iceborn will finally give over this dragon, concede it over. So it'll be Akuma with the first dragon of the game for themselves.
Yeah, we're talking about zone control there. I mean, realistically here, something that I think kind of sells Iceborn a little bit is look at the zone control coming out. We're going to get to the fight in just 1 second. As I want you to look at this Equalizer. It kind of just completely prevents any walking forward here for a while. And so it's just the frontline members who are just getting poked down. And now, I'm Bad, You're Awful is just stuck, has to ult in, and he's just too deep at that point. And while he does live for a long time, ends up having all 4 members focusing him, so they can net back at least 1 kill. It's just simply not enough in this scenario, and crucially, Holy Carrot misses just barely enough abilities to not really net any kill whatsoever. Is actually going back to live. Upchuck has found a kill thanks to the help of Fortnite.
Fork Knife. Best game of all time. Way better than this game. I like the Zoomer games. I'm joking. Aaron settled up here for Akuma. Iceborn, despite not having their mid laner, look interested in this. Fails in a great position, and here comes the quickness flash again. It's interrupted by Freaktor with a great kick, but I'm Bad, You're Awful goes too far again. Full clear in a similar position to last one. Humphreys trying to dash forward, flashes in, gets the Rakan, but cease and desist connected on his head, and that'll be a double kill for the Rumble. Iceborn with a great interrupt of Fails his ult, still end up losing the fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is just because they don't have Holy Carrot there, right? They continue to try and stop this Baron pull. I'm Bad, You're Awful, just very overconfident on the Cassante, tanking way too much damage. Well, there's not really enough follow-up from the side of Iceborn Black. So it's basically just a free Cassante kill every fight so far. 4K gold down on the Rumble at this point. The replay here for Holy Carrot's death is Holy Carrot ends up missing. Nice flash E here. And, well, the Anivia literally wasn't even needed. Just for some fun. As, yeah, looking back now towards this team fight that happens. I'm Bad, You're Awful. Look, yes, it's a great interrupt, but he just gets so caught out. He can't do anything here. And he just dies. And a 1v4 stack. The all-out won't get him over the wall. Or away towards his team, rather. The wall had not been placed just yet. And a nice double kill. Going over to Upchuck, and now is Akuma reestablishing control over this game with a 6k gold lead.
Yep, and also Holy Carrot, no flash. Humphreys flash in that fight to get the support. So this backline, not as safe as it was before. I don't expect Akuma to send it under a tower, but if a fight does break out, These CC tools can hit a
Oh,
lot
the
easier. That's a
equalizer.
massive equalizer. Does a ton of damage to Holy Carrot and Freak Door. I mean, they do have healing, but so do Akuma, and they're winning this war of attrition right now, while Steve Jackson is pushing in the top lane.
Yeah, this has been kind of a trend here for Akuma, right? Like, while all the members of Iceborn are tied up somewhere,
Wow.
Special Guard.
There's the engage here, and it's just a quick one onto Full Clear, who's forced to flash away, and there is the ult from Milio as well. These towers just slowly getting chipped down, and you can really see the range advantage that Akuma have with their draft. Iceborn can't really participate. Holy Carrots is the only one that has a similar range, and he's constantly taking abilities to the face that he can't step up.
Yeah, now it's looking on to this top inhibitor. This tower is dead for sure. Should be a pretty easy one. They might just lose the game here, Jack.
Yep, not a ton that Iceborn can do. Talking about proactivity and draft, and Iceborn can't pull the trigger. They don't have any tools to go forwards, and their front line just gets annihilated. That's both in Nexus turrets dead already, and the equalizer again is amazing. It splits up the engaged Full Clear so low. Humphreys on the side trying to save the game for his team. Dashes away from the grand entrance, but I'm bad, you're awful. Dies, a double kill for the Vi, and a almost ace for Akuma as they close out game one.
Yeah, pretty stock standard draft from Akuma, funnily enough, which they touched on just about everything we needed. And the downside of Lucian Milio, if you don't get a lead, what happens? You just can't, like, you're just kind of out of AD carry. And well, I don't necessarily think Reze on the Senna was that impactful this game. All that needed to happen was denying the Lucian a lead. And that's exactly what happened here, right? Like, it kind of just fell to the back of Holy Carrot, and Holy Carrot, while doing an insane amount of work on the way in these team fights, it just barely, I mean barely not enough to get Iceborn Black into a winning condition. And once the control was actually established here for Akuma, there was nothing Iceborn could really do, because they didn't really have a great way of, starting a fight, which is another downside of Milio in general. Is while yes, it's great into the Rakan and it's great with the Lucian, you don't have a go button, and there's not a clear go button here in general, right? Unless Full Clear sends himself into the enemy team, or I'm bad, you're awful somehow manages to find some kind of engage on the Cassante, which when he tried, to be fair, just straight up it got insta-killed because no one was around him. So well played from Akuma, final boss to win game number 1 of this series. Iceborn, I think, need to find something in their draft to give them a better winning condition, because they had Cassante weak side this game.
Yep.
But they didn't really get anything on the opposite side of the map other than dragons, right? Like, you will lose the game because the enemy team will have so much more gold than you that they are going to start to be able to fight these drakes. And yes, they kind of faltered around Soul Point there, but they still were able to find it, and it was off of punishing, the Cassante, who was getting punished all game already, and Full Clear not able on the Xin Zhao to really find a good engage or good space creation to allow this Lucian Milio to cook.
Yep. And, I mean, we saw that, right? Akuma had the gold lead for all the game, no matter the dragon stacking for Iceborn. Holy Carrot did a great job, but like you mentioned, the top lane situation was just too much for Iceborn to handle. Full Clear couldn't really do a ton on the Xin Zhao either. So well played to upchuck Steve Jackson for generating those leads through the early game. And for the rest of Iceborn for converting into the later stages of the game. Now, Iceborn did have some good dragon macro early, but like you said, we need to see a little bit more on the gold side of things. That'll be it for game number 1. We're going to take a short break and then be back for game number 2. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. What day is it in America? Thursday night. Welcome back to a nice Thursday night of Titan Immortal streaming. Once again, if you're in Australia, hope you're having a nice Friday morning. It's still morning. Friday morning. Colder than I'm sure it is over in the States, but it's going to need to get a bit colder because Iceborn currently melting in this series. Akuma coming up hot in this first game.
Yeah, Akuma final boss. So, again, some slip ups here and there, but overall, playing Iceborn style really to the T and nailing it, actually. Which is very shocking, right? Again, Steve Jackson, known for being one of those more unique champion pool junglers. But pulling out the Vi this game, saying, put the prize in the bag, little bro. And, it paid off. And even though I was maybe a little bit worried about the Anivia, it didn't look like it was doing that well earlier on. Able to find the footing necessary, or I guess, Anivia flies the whole time, so it's kind of hard to find footing, but regardless. She's going to have to take a rest at some point, alright? She has to land, okay? Even though she's a Freljordian, like, god. It doesn't matter, alright? She was able to get it done, overall, and well played from Akuma across the board. I can't really say anything negative, other than fails. Yeah? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you get speared out of your engage or kicked out of your engage last game?
Awful. Get this guy off the team. But different bans here. Actually, the Mbessa coming through for the first pick of Akuma. They changed up their bans, left the J4 open this time, but then didn't opt to go it on first pick, which does make sense. It's still an option. You can go Mbessa and J4, but Iceborn already prepped for that, going the Ezreal. Now, what you're going to pair with this, no Karma, could very likely be an engage support, something like a Leona, but with red side, obviously an option to let that go later. So Iceborn will just take up the Nocturne for now. Yeah.
When we did see the Mbessa come through for Akuma, it was in the top lane. And hey, running back a very similar draft strategy to what they had last week. Exactly 1-to-1 copy even of their last week draft is well, the Nautilus at least. So they are keeping the Kaisa up in the air. Could be Steve Jackson's Kaisa, could be Reze's Kaisa. So one thing Akuma does well is picking these champions that can be flexed. Even though you're looking at Kaisa like, this isn't a flexible champion. Well, for Akuma it is. So, it's keeping things open, and very similar response coming out from Freak Door into an engaged support. Last week played against Leona, and blocked in the Alistar this week against the Nautilus. And of course, if that is Kaisa, Kaisa's lower range might enable the Alistar to find some free engages. In the future.
I think this is... We were looking at their drafts before, Akuma. Is this the exact same draft so far? They played Varus and something else.
I think it was Varus' third pick, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to double check on that.
They still had the Nautilus as well, right? So this is maybe not the same order, but very similar drafting. Either way, Iceborn, some mid lanes, Akuma with some mid lane bans as well.
It's the exact same.
Exactly the same. All right. Well, Iceborn will lock up the Renekton for themselves to prep for this Mbessa going into the top. But it's actually the Mundo that gets swapped in now to potentially the top lane. Could be still Mundo jungle, but this is a change up from their previous drafting.
Yeah. Well, was Cassante. So another beefy boy, and that is the biggest swap up, is there will be no Varus this time around. So this is Reze on the Kaisa. Unless we're playing Mundo bot lane or something, which wouldn't put it past Akuma, I'll be honest. But hey, there's one of the best mid laners in the game, kind of showing her face here, is getting nerfed next patch as well. But for now, don't need to worry about that. We're still on 16-12, so all things right in the Western front here. Now, with the Lissandra, does provide some much needed lockdown here onto an Ezreal, right? The Nautilus also pretty good at dealing with the Ezreal because you can point and click him and then follow up with your dredge line, which can then set up for a public execution. I like the Mbessa plus the Lissandra duo. And the cast, while it is very annoying for the Ambessa, the cast, kind of shorter range herself, could be putting herself into harm's way against a Lissandra combo.
Yep. I think Akuma have had some pretty nice drafting so far in this series. The Mundo swap up to top is going to be an interesting one to see how it pans out. But then the rest of this comp has a very strong dive. I think I'm favoring Akuma's comp yet again. But we're going to jump on to the Rift for our second game of the night/morning for myself. But Iceborn have got a lot of strong picks individually, right? They've got the Nocturne that's really nice, really strong recently. The Cass, like you mentioned, one of the strongest mid laners on the patch, and the Ezreal as well, who is incredibly strong, especially with this Doran's bow start that you can see Humphreys has.
If this vertical ends up happening, like if they read this vertical, this is actually benefiting Iceborn a lot, because getting your Ezreal ahead in this game to try and combat some of the Mundo prowess later on in this game will pay off for them nicely. We'll see if that ends up happening, but for right now, they seem pretty unaware. So we might be getting a 3-quadrant clear from full clear here. Such a funny name. Full clearing will be daily. This time,
will be full clearing.
Yeah, we'll be. I mean, yeah, there's no read here. Otherwise, Steve Jackson would have just straight up gone.
Why are we standing still? Don't really understand this one.
Oh, that's barrier gone.
Oh, Freak takes a lot of damage actually in the root out as well. Reze can flash to get this kill very easily. One more auto will do it, and that's a first blood for the Kaiser down in the bot lane. Humphreys already used Arcane Shift and now has a flash fails with a root, and that's just going to be a double kill for the bot lane of Akuma this early in the game. And Full Clear will get his invade off. Coming down now for the bot lane play. He's level 3. Yep. It is a lot of minions, and Reze just ticks over to level 3 now. Flash forward from Full Clear. The W goes wide. One more auto would do it, but it won't. Full Clear gets the kill and fails. Under the tower, takes a tower shot. If that W had hit from Reze, that was an easy kill.
Yeah, very easy kill. As now Holy Carrot will defend his jungler's top camps, or attempt. You are pretty low mana here, Holy Carrot.
As he was a solo kill in top lane as well. So action all over the map. Steve Jackson ended up smiting away the Raptors. Oh, wow, what a start.
All right. Well, so what I initially was going to talk about until Holy Carrot decided to go defend chickens does pay off, by the way. Steve Jackson not actually able to get the rest of the topside camps. But the choice for Iceborn's bot lane to go in knowing Nocturne has a potential to level 3 is mind-blowing. Like, I'm very confused as to the decision-making for it, because in that case, although Full Clear will be finding fails here. Yeah, it could have just waited, right? But I'm gonna...
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Going for the classic Nocturne Chickens invade. Steve Jackson looking a bit angry, but at that HP, cannot do anything about it.
All right. I was worried there was going to be a typical M600 info. Oh my god.
Who wins this? Is it the Mundo? Yeah. So one apiece. One apiece.
Yeah. Flash use there off of Upchuck. I'm glad I was kind of playing around with my words there, waiting for the typical M1200, or I guess M600 death, which is very typical in the thing. And fist fighting will be daily in this elo, as even though there's nothing to fist fight over, I'll do it anyways. But yeah, the choice from Iceborn Black's bot lane to just fight there, just not the right choice at all.
Yep.
Because again, best case scenario, it's just a trade. Worst case scenario, you die. And that was almost a triple kill, right? Across the board.
Yeah.
It would have been super delayed, right? But regardless, it was almost 3 kills over to Akuma, and it would have been a 2nd kill over to Reze. And in a lane where you really need your Ezreal to pop off, right? Like your Ezreal needs to be doing well this game, because the Renekton, the Nocturne are not dealing with this Mundo. The Cassiopeia, I've already talked about, like the difficulty this game for her being short ranged, right? The Lissandra can punish it very easily. So a lot riding on Humphrey's success in this game. Started off not so great, and a gank on the way.
Yep, nice knock up here from Freakdog, but won't buy him enough time as he'll get at least his 80 carry away, but the kill, I would have liked that to be given over to Reze, but ult's now in the top lane, exchanged 1-for-1. Ignite is not available for this Renekton, but the damage is still done to Upshot. Can't heal enough with just that level 6 ult, so I'm bad, you're awful. Be able to push in this wave and maybe even try to deny it, as he will be doing so.
Yeah, good job of the zone here. Also will be allowed to proxy on this wave. Knows that the Ambessa will be bot side, so literally no threat at all towards I'm bad, you're awful. Although full clear will see the chickens being done in his face, and will miss the smite.
Yep.
And walk away. So nice ground here.
He's full clear in these Raptors. Well played here from Fortnite. Dragon has been spawned for about a minute. Looks like Iceborn might look to go towards that. If there's a world in which this game starts with a triple kill for the Kai'Sa, and that didn't obviously end up happening, but it's still a 700 lead, and you don't necessarily have to have that happen, right? Like you're talking about before, Iceborn's bot lane go way too early, look for the all-in while full clear isn't ready, and he's kind of sitting at Krugs, just watching his team make a mistake, when he either could have ganked level 2, he could have taken the Krugs and been there earlier, but either way, Iceborn have been able to pull back some, at least with the jungle and the top side lead, and last game, top side for Iceborn was in a really bad position, so it's good to see them having a little bit more to play with in this game.
Yeah, and I think for the majority of this game, topside should be able to carry until the Ezreal's in a good enough spot, so can cover some of the difficulty of their comp, at least in the mid game. And that first Drake also buys them that much more time. They won't need to fight into like the mid game spike of the Kai'Sa, of the Ambessa, right? Like that is not something they have to consider thanks to this one Drake. Well, I'm bad you're awful is losing in the trades, and of course this matchup is more and more losing. Paranoia mid.
Yep. But Fortnite actually winning the trade out. It's a 2v2. And it'll go 1-for-1 so far, but now Steve Jackson under the tower. All right. All right. We are fighting every day, like you said. Bot lane, a little bit of skirmishing happening here. Freakdog hits a knock up, and Humphrey is not able to continue with the damage.
Yeah, well, of course, what better thing to do than fight? I bet you're awful. This feels illegal to stay. Never mind. Nice level up timer. Yeah, nice level up timer there.
Still feels not super great. It does have the exhaust and the ult pops now, both again traded. But that'll be the ignite out of I'm bad, you're awful. Both ults available. Another hook in bot lane as depth charge is used. Freakdog with a really nice headbutt. Will save his life. Oh, kill.
Oh, no Q. Kill. Oh, goodness gracious. If that was an auto E cancel, by the way, Upchuck actually kills, but was too worried about a potential follow-up. Man. On a nice edge in this top lane. But this is favoring the Mundo, right? The Mundo will scale far better than the Renekton. So, especially with the Renekton who got first blood, is Freakdog forced to pop the ult in the bot lane. Arcane Shift.
Alright. Humphreys has no mana though, so he's just got the lethal tempo autos right now. Does have double summon a spell, but Reze finding some damage back. Freakdog does have mana to play with if he wants to look for an engage, but Reze able to clear out this wave. Is this the minus 500 Kai'Sa skin?
Yes, it is. Actually, I'd have to look at like which variant of version it is. It is. Yep, it is.
Wow.
Well, maybe, I don't really know. I don't really know the difference. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is because it has like the dogs for like floating. I don't know.
Oh, really nice engage here from Akuma. Oh, great stun, and that should be a kill, actually. Holy carrot did enough damage. No Ambessa champion allowed to get out of there. Any other champion probably dies. Actually, Steve Jackson had flash, so he's probably out either way. But
Oh my
Okay,
god.
there's the price. Okay.
Oh my god. Almost died anyways. I actually don't even know if that Ezreal would have killed. I'll be honest. I don't think it kills.
Jackson thought it would have. Yeah, so looking at how this trading is going in the top lane, not super great for Iron Badger Awful. And I know we ask this all the time when there's a Mundo or similar tanks like Scion and such, but who is killing level 20 Mundo this game as Hook comes down and be a little bit of damage?
Yeah, that's Spurs of the cast, right? Like that would be your cast reasoning this game on top of like some DPS from Ezreal. But can Cass do that herself without dying? Well, that's a question that'll be asked and answered later.
I'm asking it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was asked now, but it will be answered later, I suppose, would have been a better phrase.
I know next time.
I don't know. I don't know if the cast is gonna be enough, but the cast is at least in their draft the answer. Like it is the answer. On top of what what Ezreal can do. On top of it, is it gonna be enough? That itself is the question. Especially because of the difficulty of the Cassiopeia, like being played this game, is Paranoia being hovered around in this game.
An option. Fortnite no flash, but does have ult, and Steve Jackson is on Raptors, or actually, yes, he is on Raptors, but spotted on a ward, pathing down the bot lane, so Iceborn should be aware of this.
Yeah, they're playing so far back. Look how respectful they're playing here. On that last minion. Now we're going to move towards the river. They might actually see Steve Jackson here. They do. So no play, and look at full clear as well.
Oh, Fortnite caught out here, Paranoia used, and yes, Fortnite will go over the wall, but so will full clear. Ult use on himself for a moment of healing, but that will be all it buys him, as there was a solo kill up in the top lane as well. Upchuck using flash, managing to get the kill. And Akuma down in the bot lane. Now Iceborn joining up. Ezreal Arcane Shift forwards. Freakdom misses the combo. But Akuma pretty low as Iceborn look to start up this Drake.
They do still have the Petrifying Gaze from Holy Carrot. Public Execution, I mean, they have every tool besides Lissandra ult here. Because Lissandra's not even here, but they're not even going to attempt to contest. So, shove in bot wave. And it's just going to be Steve. Oh, this could be very deadly for Iceborn Black bot lane. Let's see if they take the bait.
Yep. You can see a little Kai'Sa dangling as bait. Steve Jackson will cancel the base. Will Iceborn take the bait? It looks like yes, they will. Freakdor uses his ult, but not going to be enough. He will flash. Okay, that one you should have given for sure. But full clear now here as Akuma looked for a dive, fails, is able to hook the wall, make his way out. But yeah, maybe this is 80 carry bias. That's a Kai'Sa kill, guys. He ulted for it as well. All right, come on.
It is. I mean, it is Hubris and Bessa, so the necessity of a snowballing on the Abessa is kind of by this game. But we really have to talk about this top matchup. I mean, it's not even expected for Renekton to be losing at this stage as well, but just constantly getting solo killed at this point. I say constantly as he got solo killed the one time.
Catching all these cues.
But yeah, like already forced to ult and maximum dosage still available as it just ticked over into being available here for Upchuck. Maybe the Black Reaver will alleviate that issue, but it's going to be Deadman's Plate here, first item, and yeah, it doesn't seem like it's helping at all.
Yeah. Ignite still a while away. Upchuck just happy to clear out this wave, and well, sure, Upchuck can't make any roaming plays right now because he is dancing with his health a little bit. Means that Iron Badger Awful, who you want to be winning at this point in the game, and 2 items onwards as well. Sorry, up to 2 items. You really want the Renekton to be strong, rotating into team fights, ulting, finding maybe the Kai'Sa or the Ambessa would be ideal. But so far, not happening. Very similar story to game 1 as we tick over near the 15-minute mark. Gold lead for Akuma and the Dragon lead for Iceborn.
Yeah, this has been pretty similar start overall from game number 1. Of course, the way the kills and things have gone have definitely been a little bit different. But Iceborn Black, really heavy Drake control, though Freaktor is dead.
Yep, he has channeled his Unbreakable Will, and here comes the Paranoia, so maybe not dead actually, as it will be Fails who dies. Alistair just too tanky.
That ult and that damage reduction. Tisk tisk. Anyways.
I know, it's only level 1.
Excellent bait there from Iceborn Black. Steve Jackson. Okay, Freaktor. Okay. Well, Freaktor decides to give one back.
That one maybe fair enough. Headbutt was coming in, but I do need my Kaiser to get some kills. But yeah, maybe baited himself in that one as Upchuck. Doing a lot of damage here to I'm Bad, You're Awful, as he wants to stay in his wave, not under tower, so he doesn't get collected by any briefcases. But now Reze and Steve Jackson zoning away Humphreys from the bot lane tower, so make a small stumble around the bot lane play, lose their support, but they get a lot of gold back.
I mean, this is exactly, like, this is the exact same, like, pattern from last game from Akuma, right? Like, they're kind of punishing the, like, weakest member right now, right, this bot lane. Steve Jackson sticks around for first tower as well, off of a play. Very, very similar last game, and I'm Bad, You're Awful.
Yep, this is pretty easy. Ults himself, as a little bit awkward there. I think he meant to ult Renekton. Doesn't make sense why he would ult himself at full health. Steve Jackson now moving forward, fails over the wall, but can't hit anything. Public Execution will land onto Freaktor, and Steve Jackson now finding this Cassiopeia fails ult and flash over the wall. Petrifying Gaze is nice, and here comes full clear. Doesn't have Paranoia just yet, but Reze going off and untouched so far in this fight. It's a 1-for-1, but Steve Jackson is low. Paranoia almost available. Here it is. Goes in, takes down Steve Jackson. It's a shutdown over to this Nocturne, and this will be the fear pushing forwards this Kai'Sa, and it'll be 3 kills over to Iceborn.
Yeah, but again, it's the gold play coming out from Akuma, right? Yes, they shouldn't have died there. They do anyway, but it's a tier 2 tower. Given over to a... Okay.
To a Mundo.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm Bad, You're Awful might die again, because the ult was coming up from Fortnite here. Just ticked over, though. So, regardless... The gold play from Akuma has been so excellent, and, you know, we're looking back at this replay. A nice public execution was a little awkward, but ends up getting themselves out of the W there. But the turnaround is just so well played overall by Iceborn Black. And the Paranoia just barely taking over. Stays on vision enough for the blue orb. And there you are, nice little kill, but... These kills ultimately don't mean anything as you just completely bleed as Sage in the mid lane.
Yep, now there's a front line here for Akuma, but that front line is getting tan to shreds. There's the ult actually from Fortnite. Big knock-up from Fail as well, but the health bars just aren't falling. There's the first. Traded back onto Fails. Here's Steve Jackson to try to do a little bit more damage. I'm Bad, You're Awful getting solo killed by Reze, who's untouched in this fight. Public execution. Mac range into the backline goes Steve Jackson. A double kill for the Ambessa and an ace out of nowhere for Akuma.
Well, as Pansy would say if she's on this cast, how's he found that? Like, this is a flash up Ezreal. But getting a look back at this play, right, it's just... They try to burst down this Mundo. That's not going to be possible. And the utilization of the Petrifying Gaze is not really that great. Full clear. Not really able to get anything done. And they're fighting without Paranoia on top of that, which is not a great thing to do in the first place. Freaktor trying his best just to support POV here. And look, this is Flash Ezreal. This should never happen. And it happens anyways. Steve Jackson. Excellent play there to clean that one up. And it's Akuma. Started their snowball much similar to last game, and it is rolling downhill quickly.
Yep. A lot of Iceborn's gold is on this Nocturne as well, and he was taken down basically instantly in this fight. Upchuck didn't even use his ult. It wasn't available, and they still couldn't get through him at all in that fight. They got very close to, but now Akuma, big fight win, big lead in terms of gold, and denied the dragon, stacking its Infernal Soul as well, so that's pretty scary for whichever team is against that. Is this 3-item Kai'Sa on this base? Let's find out. It's looking like a Nash's buy. No more Dusk and Dawn. It is 3 items Kai'Sa. Humphreys does have the tier fully stacked, but doesn't have Mana Moon. There's a massive item difference in the 80 carries.
Yeah, and even with the Kai'Sa not getting all of those early game kills, still has this lead. You know, oh, they are going to send it.
Okay, Public Execution down. We'll get away from the fear, but here comes the Mundo. See if he can go literally wherever he pleases, as here is a TP as well from Fortnite, as Upchuck is winning the 1 versus 2 right now. Hasn't even used ult yet. There it is. And here comes the healings through 4 members. Make that 5 in the top lane to try to deal with this Mundo, and they just can't do it. Now the rest of Akuma have linked up Fortnite over the wall. Here comes a hook onto Freakdoor. The ult from the Nautilus is great. Fortnite in the backline. Spell Shield is gone, and a really nice ult from Fortnite. Massive damage from the Kai'Sa as she goes in and shuts down the entirety of Iceborn Gauntlet. Yes, Fortnite is shut down too. Holy Carrot picking that kill up, but Akuma just winning everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep winning, and this fight, I mean, they're baited so hard to keep going on Mundo for some reason. This is Mundo with ult. You don't have a lot of damage. Maybe this thing is just bugged, but I'm pretty sure he ulted. Am I crazy?
He did. It's the spectator bug. It's picking up.
Just making sure. I was like pretty sure he ults. Regardless, they spent so much time. And look at the collapse, right? It gives them time. Baron now going the way picture in picture there. On the bottom right of your screen. Over to Akuma, and man, just tragedy. On the Rift for Iceborn Black is Fortnite gets an excellent flank. Does miss the W there, but nice spacing. And Holy Carrot also on the Cassiopeia has been ripping ult so early, it's hitting no one. Like in that fight, it hits no one as well. Imagine if the patience is there. That's actually...
Alright, Iceborn going through the mid lane. That's fails down, and Reze... Oh no, he lives! Fortnite with the peel! Upchuck TP'd back in as well, and this is an unmovable object and an unstoppable force all at once, and he's moving forward. Connects the briefcase onto full clear. I can't believe Reze not only lived that, but ended up getting the kill as well.
Can we look at this Ezreal damage right now? By the way, like, doing nothing.
I don't see any Ezreal damage. He is still one item. Yep, Fortnite now finding a catch on the full clear. Alright, that is
another hard steal.
VM there is... Oh, it's the kill.
Yeah, he was waiting for Heartstyle. He was waiting for Heartsteel. So.
Based. He's got quite a few of those stacks, huh? Like 400 now. Big gold lead. Look at the gold lead in ADC, though. That is...
I mean, this Ezreal has more gold than the Cassiopeia somehow, actually. Like, that is... This has just gone from bad to worse to even worse for Iceborn Black. They just can't really get anything done. They initially sent it on to Steve Jackson, which is what sets up this play initially, and Steve Jackson, yeah, this is a pretty Steve Jackson play. Unfortunate few missed there from Humphreys, and nice hook, but nice engage actually from Freakdoor, but there's just not enough follow-up here. They're hitting Nautilus instead of the Kai'Sa, and well, I don't think it matters, truthfully, as Upchuck still gets here, Fortnite still gets here, right? Like, that's gold you could have gotten for yourself, because I'm guaranteeing that this Kai'Sa has a shutdown. Full clear. Does the jungler thing, tries to clear his own camps and gets punished for it, and picture in picture, the base is just going down quickly now for Iceborn Black.
Upshot going wherever he wants. Holy Carrot in the top side, trying to get a bit of gold for himself, has 2 items, and so does this Ezreal, so maybe a little bit of damage now will be done. This Upchuck is taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have Warmog, but he does have the ult available. Iceborn were able to strip a few Barons away, and really nice stun there onto Steve Jackson. Takes a lot of health, but Ambassador Champion. Oh, there is the ult. Massive amount of healing. This is the full level 16 ult, and no one can take him down while he's ulting. This one doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's just a unmovable object.
This is game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay, we're just walking forwards here, breaking open the base. Public Execution will not hit, but the briefcases and the damage from Reze will. Engages under the Nexus turrets, fails, falls, but there's just too much for Iceborn to handle. That'll be one mid lane inhibitor. Baron is gone, so maybe not a full end, although Fortnite probably just basing to TP back, maybe to look for an end, as I don't think Iceborn can stop this from happening.
Well, this TP is not the best, but they don't have anything to really punish it, so...
Yeah, long death timers. The demolish procs as well from the Mundo. Here's Freakdoor to try to do something. Fight now, or forever hold your peace, Iceborn, as your base is falling before your very eyes. Great Zonyas from Reze to immune. The engagement, Freakdoor falls. That'll be an easy and quick 2-0 for Akuma as they cement themselves in the #1 seed just after week 3 of Immortal.
Yeah, this game, I think realistically, Akuma just one-ups Iceborn Black. Just looked like a far better team all throughout this game. Upchuck finding those early game kills on the Mundo, which he shouldn't be in the Renekton matchup. The decision making from the bot lane of Iceborn Black to go in level 3 against Reze and fails backfires extremely hard. And Akuma find a boss, take that every step of the way, and they did it expertly there. Iceborn Black, actually, before I get into Iceborn Black's, tidbit of this segment, any team that's watching this, you have got to separate the, Mbessa, Kai'Sa, Nautilus, because it is bamboozling drafts, because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yep.
Last week we saw Steve Jackson play the Kai'Sa, 12-1. This week we saw Reze on the Kai'Sa, did just as well. You need to separate this up against Akuma, because the strength of this team, and while they did, of course, kind of play towards Iceborn style game #1 with the Vi, that's much easier to kind of draft around than you don't know where the Kai'Sa is going, you don't know where this Mbessa is going, right? It's so hard to actually try and figure out a draft plan for that when everything is flexible. Separate it. Stop stop droning into some the normal bans. Separate this up some way, even if you're picking Kai'Sa or you're picking Mbessa, right? Separate their ability to pick like this, because Akuma have no issues now that we've seen it in week #3 playing on different champions, right? It's not Steve Jackson on the Kai'Sa, it's Reze on the Kai'Sa, and it did just as well. Iceborn Blacks, though, tidbit of their, unfortunate game 1. Just no proactivity in their draft, right? And while they did have some decent moments, they really needed their Lucian to excel in that game. But unfortunately, in a lot of matchups, especially with Milio, how do you push your advantage? How do you find kills very easily, barring the enemy AD carry just making an extreme mistake? It doesn't happen all that often. This game, I just feel like it's a complete draft gap. There's just no identity here. Zero identity across the board. Individually strong champs, sure. Renekton, decent blind. You have Nocturne, great to follow up, go in, but who's following up? A Cassio? Cassio's not going to follow up on an engage off of Paranoia. You have Ezreal for poke damage, but there's not, you have Cassiopeia for TPS. Both of which can kind of play this, kite back style, which is not bad, especially into something like Kai'Sa. But realistically, the top side, right? The Nocturne, the Renekton, they just don't fit into those styles. In fact, if you gave Nocturne in the first game and played Zen the second game, I think it's a much better draft overall, because Zen is much better in these, your team kind of wants to walk back, right? Because you can split the fight, you can separate, buy a lot of time for your team. Also, the enemy team wants to be walking into you, which is really good for Xin Zhao in general. Overall, I think Iceborn just got completely bamboozled by the fact that Akuma can flex so hard in their draft.
It's really creative, and pretty scary to go up against. Teams are going to have to prep pretty hard against this Akuma team. Iceborn have got some stuff to work on, and Akuma cement themselves as the goalpost for Immortal for the Immortal Summer Split of 2026, or winter, I guess. I can call it winter. It is winter. That's gonna be all from us here on Titan. My name's Jay Better. This is Aussie. Wait, that way. Yes, there we go. Thank you to Shivam, Kerry as well, handling the sticks. Thanks everyone was watching tonight, and we will be back next week with some more Titan Immortal action, and we'll see you there. Have a good night, day. Have a good time.